Okay, we're back. Now, the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to try to take out the ears, carve out the ears a little bit. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to try to make an area where I wet this a little bit with that solution. That will help it a little bit, because especially if we're going to cut with that alright. And then what I do is I take my knife and I kind of follow it. You can do it with a knife if you want to. If you have to, you can. Just keep it at an angle, alright? Some of it I do with a knife, some of it I do with... And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow that out a little bit. And I'm going to scoop that out. Try to with a knife. See, and you can follow this out with a knife if you want. If you have to, you can. You know, you're just going to have to work at it. But what I do is I go through here like so. You can cut it at an angle if you like to, just like I did there. And you can kind of help it along a little bit. And I follow it out because that way I know exactly where the edges are. You want to be careful. I have plenty of room in the back. I need to trim some of that out in the back of the ear. You know, a lot of that stuff I can do offline. What I do is I take and I rest my thumb against it, okay? And when I rest my thumb against it, I have a lot of control over I'm just using this portion of my hand to scoop it out, and I'm just taking my time. Alright, just taking my time with it. Now that was already pre-cut. If you can get the first initial cut out where it has to follow, then you don't go any deeper from this portion in. You don't go any deeper. Okay? And this takes a while to do. You just keep scooping it out till you have it deep enough that you're happy with it. You know, some people may go in really, really deep like I did with that. Some people may not. And that's okay. You know, there's no right or wrong way of doing this, folks. Whatever you're comfortable with. See how I'm doing this with the knife? Because, why am I doing it with a knife instead of with... Because I don't want a bunch of indentations because of the end of the gouge. Alright? I don't want to go into here and have a bunch of these little lines in there. So I'm just going very slowly and very methodically. I'm taking a little bit at a time. And you know, you do a couple of these, you'll get the hang of it. If you're not sure, then try on a regular piece first. You know, try on a regular piece of wood and try your hand at with that gouge if you're not familiar with a gouge. Where do you buy the gouge? Well, that's a good question. Mine are dockyards. They're very small. They're expensive. They're like $50 for 6, but then you get 6 different size gouges. They're for miniature gouges, and if you look up any carving supply house, or you know, place that just sells carving supplies, they'll have it. You know, if you go to you know, shop around on the net, you usually get a better buy than the stores that you can get them at. If you don't have a, you know, if you're not able to find it on the net, maybe one of the stores like Woodcrafters would have it. They're going to be a little more expensive there, I would think, but they do have everything, or they can order it for you probably. Alright, so I'm going to do one ear while we're on here. And see, I just keep going, and when it doesn't free up, I turn around and go the other way and clean it up. Alright? Kind of scooping it out, similar to like a spoon. Okay? Alright, you don't really have to go much further, but this is way too thick back here, so compared to what I have here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go down a little bit. I'm going to do a little V-cut in the back here. We're going to just thin things out a little bit. And bring this up a little bit maybe. These ears do take a lot of work. The other thing you're going to do here in the front, we already did it. We put a little bit of a spot in here. And you can make that a little more distinct later if you want. And then you work your ears out. Alright, so that's how it's done. I'm going to go offline and I'll do the other one eventually. And then once I have that done, I'll start the back and some more with the face and put the teeth in. I'm going to round things up a little bit, and you can do the same thing, you know, where you think it needs a little bit more of a dip in here, you know, for the cheeks. Go ahead and do that. It does take a little bit of time to figure everything out here, and just a matter of going over it and over it. You should have seen me last night. I just kept at it and kept at it and just kept plugging away. If it doesn't look right, I just kept cutting away what I thought, you know, would make it look a little bit better. Don't be afraid to try that, you know, when you think, you know, maybe I should make this cut or that. You make a wrong cut, you start over. I know a lot of people don't want to start over. They rather just, you know, be able to do it and finish it and be done with it. Most of the time, I would say about 95% of the time, I can take a piece of wood, work with it, even with the mistakes, and have a finished product. Very rarely do I throw a piece out because I made a mistake on it. And that's doing the experimentations and such on it. So, you know, when we come back, I'll get this done sometime later. When I come back, I'm going to show you how to do one of the legs and the tail. Alright, we'll be back.